Welcome to episode 21 of Two Guys One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Chris, we're legal to drink. What is your drink of choice on our 21st birthday?
Tequila. Simply because I have a tiny thing of Patron Silver sitting right here in front of me. It was a Christmas gift from a coworker. Everybody in our department got one. It's just a tiny little bottle, but I keep
short
it.
Podcast if you're drinking tequila.
You would be surprised. I have
Very
quite
short.
the constitution. Tequila and I are very good friends.
I'll take your word for it.
Tequila and I, we have a great relationship. We have a great working relationship. It works out really well.
I have the alcohol tolerance. It's funny because I'm a shoot 6'4" and a shoot like 240, and I have the alcohol tolerance of someone who. So tequila and I don't get along.
Yeah, you're like you're the equivalent of a college freshman in their first fraternity hazing ritual.
Oh, it's bad times when I drink. Real bad times. But
all right,
moving onward. We're 21, baby. We're going to go out and have some fun, and we're going to talk some graps, and it's going to be great when we talk about the G1, and it's going to be shit when we talk about Battleground. But first, you got a match of the week. You go first because I got to think of one on the fly. So you go first, and I'll think of one.
All right. So, as I said last week, I signed up for. Oh, wait, what?
I said I got one. I just thought of one. Sorry.
Oh, nice, awesome. All right. So last week I mentioned I signed up for the Slam of Flows, and I talked about the Evolve 81 match between Dijak and Keith Lee. So earlier this week I went into the daily and asked for some recommendations of some old stuff to check out from Evolve and anything else in the archives of Flow Slam. And then proceeded to have absolutely no fucking clue how to use the archives of Flow Slam. I couldn't find a damn thing. But eventually, somehow, I made my way to a match from, I want to say, about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, from Evolve 27. And this was back in the day when Dragon Gate USA and Evolve were running shows together, or were kind of co-branding their shows. Back when Dragon Gate USA was still a thing before they got absorbed into Evolve a whole cloth. And Evolve 27's main event featured a match for the Open the Freedom Gate Championship, which is one of the main titles, if not the main title, from Dragon Gate USA. I don't remember what their exact title structure was, but this was for the Open the Freedom Gate Championship. The champion, a man by the name of Johnny Gargano, who we all know and love.
What happened to that guy?
I don't know. He moved on to some brand that has like yellow all over it.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
Yeah, and he was facing off against a man by the name of Uha Nation, who most of us know better now by the name of Apollo Crews, the first signee to the Titus Worldwide brand. Now, let me just say this right now. You think Johnny Gargano's a great babyface, but sir, let me tell you, Johnny Gargano is a fucking awesome heel. Johnny Gargano was working heel in this match, and Johnny Gargano as a heel in 2014 is who WWE wishes Kevin Owens could be right now in SmackDown Live. The guy was working this smarmy combination politician, motivational speaker type gimmick where he's going out making sure he shakes the hand of every single kid in the crowd and always says he's doing it for the children and Obama loves me and all this other crap, just being like the smarmiest, most two-faced person ever right before he uses every dirty trick in the book to beat the shit out of somebody. It's fucking hilarious.
I am here for that. That sounds amazing.
And if you thought that, and that's not all, if you thought that was good. Now, we all know Apollo Crews is the babiest of baby faces, smiling, happy to be here all the time. I want you to picture Apollo Crews with a beard and having all of the physical presence of a guy like Braun Strowman.
Really? Oh, because he's so much bigger than anyone else in Evolve. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like, there's one spot where Gargano goes in and he's got Nation in the corner. If I call him Apollo Crews, I switch between Apollo Crews and Uha Nation. It's whatever. I've gotten like 2 years of calling him Apollo Crews under my belt. I'm just used to it by now. But he's got Uha in the corner, and he's doing like Dean Ambrose does those like the jab chop combination thing, and Gargano's doing that like going as hard as he can into his chest, and obviously he's got a friggin' like chest made of cast iron. You couldn't hurt it with a brick if you tried, and eventually he just like starts hitting like softer and softer, and you're just going through the motion as it slowly dawns on his face. This is doing absolutely nothing to this guy. And then Nation just throws him across the ring. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. And they just go at it. Like the early part of the match is Nation just dominating the shit out of Johnny Gargano, and he's trying to get away, trying to figure out what he's going to do to beat this guy who is, who is an Adonis. This guy is a physical specimen, like you would.
Oh, he's a slab of granite.
Yeah. Now, but here's the thing, and nobody's really ever talked about this during the course of during his time with WWE, which I'm surprised about. But early on in his independent career, Uhaa Nation had suffered a ruptured patella tendon and put him on the shelf for 11 months. And this match was very shortly after he had come back from that injury. So at one point, Gargano finally goes low on the knee. And you can see immediately Nation is hobbled. He's immediately just completely ineffective with anything involving his legs, and that's where the real story of the match comes in, where it gets to: will Uhaa Nation be able to overcome this injury and win the title, or will Gargano's devious tactics be too much for him, and will Gargano end up retaining? Back and forth. It's probably about a 20-minute long match, and it's great stuff. I love every bit about this match. And there are a couple of times where he goes to hit, or Nation goes to hit the Uhaa combination, which is that the gorilla press into the moonsault that used to be his finisher back in NXT. And like every time he goes for it, Gargano just barely escapes. And it's just a series of just Gargano just barely escaping and then doing something to aggravate the injury. Like at one point, there's actually a ref bump spot, and Gargano goes double axe handles to the back of the knee, and then goes and gets the ring bell and tries to hit him in the knee with the freaking ring bell. It ends up.
This is like when Bryan Danielson fought Nigel McGuinness, and they had the no elbows to the head rule that Bryan Danielson broke when McGuinness was coming off a concussion.
Yeah. Sal, we're not talking a big beard here. We're not talking like a Bray Wyatt family beard. Like, it was a short beard. It's close to the skin, but it's like there's a lot of hair there. It's a thick beard. Definitely a thick beard, but it's not a long beard by any stretch. We're not talking like War Machine here. Like if you've ever seen pictures of like what Ricochet looks like, it's like he's got like Ricochet style facial hair. So the match ends up being that the closing sequences, Gargano finally gets Nation into the Gargano escape, which is his submission hold. If you watch the match, the takeover match, the 2 out of 3 falls match with the Revival, that was the submission that Gargano was using on. I think he had Dawson in the submission. Yeah, it's the modified crossface thing.
Where they tapped at the end. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the modified crossface with the one arm up in the back. He's got him locked into Gargano escape, but Nation is still, because he's so fucking strong, he's still trying to get to the ropes, still trying to make it. And so finally Gargano pulls him back away from the ropes, locks the leg up like a calf crusher, and then reapplies Gargano escape, and immediately Uhaa has to tap. Great continuity with the leg selling the whole match. This is the kind of stuff. This is the reason why they signed Uhaa Nation in the first place to NXT and then brought him up to WWE, because this was a fantastic match. The post match was equally entertaining, where Ricochet, who had been chasing after Johnny Gargano for the better part of a year for an Open the Freedom Gate title match, went down to the ring and had him cornered to get him to sign the contract for the match. And Gargano again tries to duck him, and then Gargano's former friend, man by the name of Rich Swann, who we might know as well,
another whatever happened to.
Yeah, he comes down and he basically calls out Johnny and says, "As your chicken shit, you've been ducking Ricochet this whole time. You're going to give him the damn match. So then Gargano gives his little signal and calls in his hired muscle, a man by the name of John Davis, who is a beefcake from an Evolve. He's a short guy, but very well built. He looks actually built a lot similar, very similar to Apollo Crews. And the backstory there was that Davis had been Gargano's hired muscle, but nobody had known about it up until that point. And then Davis basically came to the ring and said, "You know what? I'm done working for you. Screw you. I quit," and walks off. So then, again, Swan and Ricochet have Johnny cornered, and Johnny basically is like, "All right, fine. I'm going to sign the contract. I'm going to do it for the children. I'm going to sign the contract for the children." And he goes and signs the contract, and then he goes to attack Ricochet with the belt, and he gets laid out by Ricochet and Swan, and is sent packing. So a great story, and that eventually leads to when Ricochet did win the Open the Freedom Gate Championship, I believe 2 events later, two Evolve shows later, which I believe was the same weekend as WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. The weekend when Ricochet won the Open the Freedom Gate title. And yeah, that was my match of the week. Great match, a lot of fun. If you got the Slam of Flows,
I am here for heel Gargano.
Yeah, the Slam of Flows gives you a great run of Johnny Gargano's heel history, and it really shows just the versatility that he has as a performer. Because he could definitely get people on his side, and he had people cheering for him even as a heel. But he also knows how to get people to boo him very well too. So definitely check that out if you're a fan of Johnny. I know Don Sal, you're a big Johnny Gargano fan. I would recommend you check that out for sure. Yeah, no, they are not monsters because they didn't think of the children. You are Sal. I mean, I love you, but you are such a mark for Johnny Gargano. I love it though. I love your enthusiasm for the man.
I love it. If you can't be a mark for someone or something, then why bother? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's true. All
right, match of the week. I have one. I thought of one about 3 seconds after you started talking. My match of the week is, you ready? The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 2002.
Really?
Yes. You know why? Because you don't need to know a damn thing about professional wrestling to understand why this match kicks ass. If you're showing someone who's never seen a professional wrestling match in their life, who all they know about Hulk Hogan is the movies, and all they know about The Rock is that he's the big dude from the Fast and the Furious franchise, you show them this match and they totally get it. Because you look at the 2 of the most charismatic dudes of all time. Now, neither one, this is not indie flippy boy shit. Yeah. Needless to say, this is 2 lions of the business going at it. Everybody does their job great. Hogan as the old guy who just maybe can stay at the top of the mountain, but probably not. The Rock is the young, hungry upstart. JR and King turned off the shtick, the puppies and all that bullshit. Remember that from that era? He turned it off.
I try to block that out of my mind because that was just...
He turned it off and he played this straight because he lends it a sense of history. JR is out of his mind. There was one time where The Rock okay, let me backtrack. Crowd's losing their mind. This takes place in Toronto. Crowd is out of their damn minds the entire time. Hogan he comes out as NWO Hogan with the black and the white and the Jimi Hendrix and the bandana. But right away the crowd's not having it. They want to see Hulkamania. Right? They want to see the Hulk Hogan who fought Ultimate Warrior in that building 12 years prior. They don't want NWO Hogan. They want red and black Hogan. And The Rock, and I've talked about this before, and The Rock on the fly decides to play heel. He's like, I'm not getting over in front of these people. So I'm going to be the bad guy. So he starts to get the heat in this match, and he goes for a rock bottom, and he hits the rock bottom. 1, 2, Hulk up. And 80,000 people, Brother Chris, lose their mind as Hulk Hogan hulks up. And The Rock does the punch, and he hits him. And Hogan blocks it, no-sells it. And The Rock does the big punch, and he hits him. And Hogan no-sells it. And Hogan points the finger. And you know where this is going. And fucking thousand people shout "you" at the same time, and Rock's losing his mind, and he's trying to punch Hogan, and Hogan is no selling, and he's hulking up, and grown men in the crowd are jumping up and down with joy. People our age, not kids. People our age, because you think about it, right? This was 2002. So if you're 30 in 2002, you were born in 2000. You were born in 1972, right?
Yes, 1972.
Wrong? Yeah, 92, 82. Okay, so if you're 30,
72.
If you're 30 in 2002, you were born in 72. If you live in Toronto, you were in a WWF territory, which means your entire life, from the time you were like 12 to the time you were now, Hulk Hogan has been a big part of it. So they tapped into that nostalgia. Rock's punching him. Hogan's no selling. Hogan hits the boots. People are jumping up and down in the background. Hogan drops. Have you ever seen this match?
No.
Oh my God! I cannot describe to you this crowd. Hogan drops the leg. The best part of the match is Jim Ross. You know what Jim Ross says? Well, yells. He goes, he beat Andre the Giant with that move. At WrestleMania 3.
Right.
Now, and first of all, he says it with all the Jim Ross shrieking you can imagine, because it's Jim Ross. I'm not telling you the rest of the match. I'm not. I'm going to find the link to the network. But the best part about that is the no-sell, the Hulk up, the leg drop, and Jim Ross adding a sense of history. We talk about wrestling history all the time on this podcast. It's one of my things. And 15 years of WrestleMania, from WrestleMania 3 to WrestleMania 18, is tied together by Hulk Hogan dropping the leg.
That's awesome.
And it's un-freaking believable, Chris. And the match goes to the finish after that, and it's just that moment, right? And I remember watching this at my buddy's house, and I was 18 years old. And I did not grow up a Hulkamaniac. I grew up a WCW guy. We've talked about this. My dad's favorite wrestler was Arn Anderson. We weren't watching. We weren't saying our vitamins. We were not eating our vitamins and saying our prayers in the Curtain Jerker household. No, we were watching. We were watching the Four Horsemen. You know? Yeah. But my friend was a Hulkamaniac, and we were kids. We were old. We were past that. That was passe. And you could see then that leg drop brought him back to his youth. And you could see that the 80,000 people in that building, for one split second, were 10 years old again. And you want to talk about the magic? I mean, I am emotional talking about it. You want to talk about the magic of professional wrestling and the history and the gravitas and all of it of professional wrestling are all encapsulated in grown men jumping up and down as Hulk Hogan drops the leg. Now, he's a piece of trash. Let's not set that aside. He is a piece of trash.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, piece of shit human being.
I mean, that's not breaking news. But for that one split second, everybody in that building, from Hogan to Rock to Lawler to Ross to everybody else to the ref, was transported back in time. Now, if that's not something special, man, I mean, if that's not something special, if that doesn't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, then this isn't for you. This whole sport, art, whatever you want to call it, man, it's not for you.
Yeah.
So
that sounds amazing. Just listening to it. Yeah,
it's
description there.
I can't do it. The crowd is unglued, and everybody is just transported back in time. And he drops the leg, and we go to the finish, and it's great. Let me. I'm gonna actually find the link.
Yeah.
And while I'm putting the thread, while you carry us on to the rest of the show.
Yeah. Side note: now I understand why you are the heel of the podcast. If you grew up watching the Four Horsemen,
oh yes. You think my dad, fan of Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, was gonna have us watching was gonna have his son watching Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan? Come on. Come on, man.
That's
why do you think my dad loves the Revival? Because they're the revival of the wrestling he used to watch.
Yeah.
That's the name. So, all right, you want to talk about you want to talk about Backlash? You want to talk about G1?
Backlash? You mean Battleground?
Or whatever. Backlash. Wow.
Let's just get the bad shit out of the way. Let's just do Battleground. I mean, let me be fair. Let me be fair and say this. Like I say in the in the description of the show. This was a mixed week in WWE because Battleground was objectively a bad show. I don't care. Like, Fizzy, I love you. I know that you have all your great opinions and you are a class by yourself as a fan, but Battleground was objectively a bad show. I don't care.
I'll not only say that, I'll say this. You ready? This was one of the worst pay-per-views WWE has produced in a long time. I mean, you got to go back to the original brand split, like 2007.
Yeah, this is absolutely the low mark of the 2017 pay-per-view calendar, without a doubt. I mean, that's saying something considering we've had events like Backlash and Extreme Rules, but you know, that is what it is. I mean, did you even watch the show?
Did I? Yeah, the whole thing, start to finish, because I'm a masochist. And because I want to make sure the people who listen to our podcast have informed opinion.
Okay, good, because I can't give an informed opinion here because I didn't watch the damn show. I mean,
you watch the opening match? That's all you need to watch.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to.
The only thing good is the opening match.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I haven't watched it. Like,
Chris,
that's why I
didn't watch
it. This show is
awful.
Yes,
this
I
show,
know.
I mean,
I mean, you don't even have to know the results. Just looking at the card, we knew it was going to be an awful show.
No, well, wait, so here's the deal. It somehow exceeded our low expectations, or not even exceeded. It somehow didn't get to our low expectations. We set the bar to the ground, and this bitch couldn't hurdle the bar.
This bitch buried its way underneath the bar.
Yeah, I mean, here I'll go through it. I have thoughts on this show. If you want to go bit by bit, you haven't seen it.
Yeah, sure.
But I will save you. I will save you the trouble. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we have to gush about SmackDown, Raw, which were both great. Ember Moon cutting
NXT was also pretty good this week.
Time in her life. And I buried her on this show. I have buried her on this show, and I'm willing to say, Ember,
much to my chagrin, you have buried her on the show.
Ember, more of this. This was good. Now, less of you trying to go to that magical place where you become the wear chick, whatever the fuck that is. More of you cutting good promos. I'm here for that. But let's go through this show.
Yeah.
Aiden English beat Ty Dillinger. You know what the highlight of this match was? Aiden English wore tights that were inspired by a Georges Seurat painting called An Afternoon on La Grande Jatte, which is located at the Art Institute of Chicago on Michigan Avenue, which is one of my favorite places to go to.
Nice.
So I saw these tights and I said, hey, Aiden English, I love you now because you're wearing tights based on a painting at one of my favorite museums. The rest of this match was mediocre. It was fine. It was a pre-show match. It was fine. I shouldn't say mediocre. It was a little better than mediocre. Maybe not good, but it was better than average.
Yeah.
For a pre-show match, it was perfectly fine. It was also the second best match in the show, which should tell you everything you need to know about this match.
Yeah. It tells you everything you need to know about this show.
In fact, it was the second best match on the show, probably by a significant margin.
I believe you.
Then we had the best match on the show. The New Day won their titles back over the Usos. This match...
Oh, no. This is the first time that they've won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So this is not them winning their titles back.
Apologies. Sorry, I'm kind of on overdrive here. I'm still worked up talking about Hulk Hogan matches from 19 years ago, whatever the hell it was. This match was great. I would recommend this match. In fact, if you watched the first two matches and then turned it off, you'd be good. You would think this was a good show. You would be wrong, but you would think this is a good show. Now, there are a lot more things you can do with your life on a Sunday in July than watch this horrible show.
Yeah. I personally recommend catching up on the G1 on the NJPW World. No, we are not endorsed by them. We are not endorsed by NJPW World, but I will plug for them all the same. I don't care.
In fact, I'll say this about Usos New Day. This is one of my favorite main roster WWE matches all year.
Really?
I mean, it's not the best. It is in the upper. I'm not super computer guidance, so I don't have a giant spreadsheet of all the wrestling I watch. But off the top of my head, it is in the upper quartile of matches, maybe even in the upper 10% of main roster matches.
Okay.
Like, this was a good match. In fact, I'll say this was a great match. All four of these guys, well, five, because Big E was in the bet, was Yeah, because Big E was in the back doing cool managerial stuff. All 5 of these guys were great.
Yeah.
I am here for the Usos, by the way. I like their gimmick. I like that they're fat. It kind of gives them a little street cred. Instead of being skinny, flippy boys, they're kind of rugged, And they're doing great work. They're cutting awesome promos. I hope they stay together forever. I hope they're heels forever. Then we had a match that was terrible. This was a terrible match. In fact, this is probably the second or third worst match I've ever seen Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle. Up there with the Gracie match and the Brock Lesnar match. That were both before he became wacky Michael Jackson, King of Strong Style. This is probably the worst Shinsuke Nakamura match he's had since his excursion.
Oh, okay? God. I mean, I'm not surprised, given who his opponent was, but still.
The whole time. They did a lame finish the fans hated. So the entire match, to make the fans hate it even more, was Nakamura selling for Baron Corbin's bad offense. Now, let me ask you a question, Chris, because I've been talking for a long time. What does Baron Corbin do well?
The end of days.
Okay.
That's it.
I like the deep six. So let's say
deep six is all right.
Let's say he does his signature maneuvers well. Okay. Now in WWE style, that's all you need to do because everyone has their own signature maneuvers. Your offense is basically strike and signature maneuvers.
And then everything else is the same. Yeah.
Because it's the homogenous, it's the McDonald's of wrestling, as we've discussed.
Yep.
I don't understand what Baron Corbin, why he's in this company.
He's big and he's a former football player. That's all you need. That's the only answer that you can get. And that's honestly like of the people who have been brought in to WWE who are former football players, I explicitly am going to say former NFL players because Roman Reigns is in a class by himself, as we know. But of the people who have come to WWE who are former NFL players, Mojo Rawley is the only one who is offering anything of actual substance and worth right now. And that says a lot. I mean...
Former NFL players.
Yeah.
Or football players.
Yeah.
No, other than Roman.
Yeah. Other than
Roman's blood. So he grew up with the business. You're talking guys who we've discussed this before over and over.
Yeah.
Is the failure of NXT on the men's side to produce credible male wrestlers, with the exception of Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Who has that unbelievable charisma that you can't teach.
Yes.
Baron Corbin is a disaster, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
A disaster.
Everything that he had going for him from his time in NXT, because he was doing, it wasn't great, but he was doing good work in NXT. And then as soon as he got to the main roster, everything that he had going for him just went out the fucking window. Just threw it in the garbage and lit the garbage on fire.
Yep, it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. And he's got the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase, too.
Oh, it's coming. Cash is coming, man. Get ready. Get ready. God. Notice how they haven't really mentioned it a lot? It's coming.
I know. This is the same thing as what they did with Sheamus 2 years ago.
Yep. Hopefully Roman Reigns doesn't cry this time.
He won't be cashing out on Roman.
We're gonna get. What if they draft him? What if he goes to Raw?
No. Baron Corbin is.
We have a superstar shakeup.
Baron Corbin is going to cash in
for no reason.
No, Baron Corbin is going to cash in at the end of SummerSlam because they want to have a surprise finish at the end of SummerSlam because they think that'll pop the fans. I mean, granted, Money in the Bank cash-ins always.
If he's cashing in on gender, which we'll get to, it'll pop the fans.
Yeah. But whatever.
Then we had a women's fatal 5-way elimination match.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the good in this match. Charlotte Flair was awesome in this match.
Yeah, that freaking deadlift.
Oh my god!
I've seen that spot a lot.
Oh,
that was
shit. Like that was as someone who dabbles in the art of weightlifting, I was like, oh my god, I am thoroughly impressed. The core power, leg power, just to get that, and she was good the rest of the match too. Becky Lynch was good in this match. Natalya was passable in this match. And that's about it. I don't quite understand the Lana. And I don't quite. Let me ask you a question. Let's do a little Q&A gimmick. You ready?
All right.
This is not a true false question. This could be an open question. Is there a worse performer on the main roster than Tamina? Go on.
I mean, they did. Well, the guy who came back at the end of the show, maybe, but
he's got charisma.
That's true. Yeah. So
and we'll talk about him.
Yeah, no, there really isn't.
Is there a worse? I mean, I'm talking just in the art of performing a move. She threw a super kick and fell down.
Yeah, no, there's nobody else who.
She's been in this company for almost a decade. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that if she wasn't related to The Rock, her ass be shown the door. If you know.
Yeah, and you know what's
you know what this card was, Chris? This whole show was Vince's revenge on the city of Philadelphia for that time they ruined Roman Reigns winning the Rumble 3 years ago.
I don't doubt it, given Roman Reigns' tweet after the show.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, you know it's coming. There's eventually going to be a Tamina versus Nia Jax match. It's gonna happen.
Oh,
I know.
Are you looking forward to Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss? Alexa Bliss working babyface underneath. You get your mind ready for that shit.
Somebody please find the person who was writing the script for that, burn the script, and then threaten to burn them unless they stop writing that script.
Put them on the fucking just steak, Joan of Arc style.
Oh, actually, Sal, that's a good point. I don't know if Tamina is worse than Lana.
I think she's worse than Lana, given that she's been doing this for so much longer. I think per capita, like if you look at the amount of time, she's one of the longest tenured performers in this company.
Yeah,
she's been in the company since 2009.
That is true.
Lana's terrible. Let's not. Lana threw some kicks that missed by about 40 feet.
Oh, I saw that. That was just
this show. There's nothing going on there. So I don't quite understand. Natalya won, whatever. Now they're doing some weird ass gimmick where Natalya's pissed that Naomi's desecrated the title, as if Natalya didn't win a title look like a fucking tramp stamp 5 years ago.
My God.
Then we had a match that was also terrible, regardless of the finish. Notice how I used regardless instead of irregardless, because irregardless is an actual word.
Yeah, exactly. If you use irregardless, please find a dictionary.
Yeah, don't,
because it's not a word.
We'll talk about. Do you want to talk about the finish first, or do you want to talk about the match itself?
No,
Kevin Owens and AJ Styles.
Go in order. Talk about the match first.
Okay. I don't quite understand. I get the WWE style of the babyface sells for the whole match until he makes his comeback. I don't like it. I get it. When you have a bumper as good as AJ Styles, I get it. When you have a seller as good as Shinsuke Nakamura, I get it. When you have a seller as good as Roman Reigns, I understand. Okay, I believe it's a waste of their talent, but that ship has long sailed and come back.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens needs to reevaluate himself as a professional wrestler. And I'm talking about the entire thing. Now, the gimmick obviously is not his fault. He's got to do this whole bullshit face of America. Okay. I'm talking about what he wants to be in the ring. Does he want to be liked, or does he want to be booed? I'm not quite sure. Because he does the trash talking that pops the crowd, especially on SmackDown, during the match. Mm-hmm. And then he does 400 chin locks that make my soul escape my body. I felt myself slowly dying watching a chin lock after chin lock. Now, maybe Kevin Owens is gassed. Tanya Rogers has said as much, and I'm starting to agree with that. Maybe he's gassed. He looks thinner than he did in Ring of Honor and PWG and stuff. He looks thinner. But on the other side, he's older. And as you get older, you get less cardiovascular, you get less wind. That makes sense, right? So maybe he's gassed and he decides to do it without locks. Or maybe he thinks this is how you get over. Either way, either he's out of shape. Wrestling. I'm pretty sure he's not bad at wrestling. Does this intentionally because he thinks that it gets him over. By getting him not over or something. In which case, he needs to seriously reevaluate how he conducts professional wrestling. And he's not the only one. This company's agented poorly, as we've discussed.
Yes.
And then we had the finish. Nobody's quite understands what happened. Best case scenario is that AJ didn't hear the pin. Maybe. A bump that led to nothing, a bunch of stupid reversals, and then the world's slowest count led to a 3 count, and AJ lost the belt only to have it hot shot back to him 2 days later.
Yeah.
I've heard that the finish was changed midstream. I've heard that AJ blew the finish. I heard that Kevin Owens blew the finish.
Now,
Something happened here.
People are saying that the finish was not botched because Owens' music was cued. So
it takes 1 click though. This isn't like you're not putting a record on a player. This is what I'm saying.
That's not true. It does not take 1 click because if you go back and watch the episode of NXT the week after Takeover Brooklyn
NXT,
1.
Though. This is the main roster.
No. But this is the week after Takeover Brooklyn 1, where they were in the Barclays Center. So this was recorded the night of Takeover. I was here for this. This was recorded before the actual Takeover card, and they had that fatal 4-way match between Emma, Dana Brooke, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. And I don't know what it was that happened, but for whatever reason, Becky Lynch did not kick out, and Emma won on a botched finish. And they did not have her music cued, and it took them a good 10 seconds to get her music going. So it's definitely not just 1 click. So I don't believe that it was a case of a botched finish, because if they had it cued and ready to go, then they had it cued and ready to go.
I think you're giving them a little. I think it's easier than you're making it out to be. But it doesn't matter. What matters is this match, regardless of the finish, was very bad, and especially bad considering that you have an all-timer in AJ Styles and at worst, pretty good wrestler in Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Speaking of terrible all-time bad matches, this flag match.
Why?
Why
do they even do this?
Like, I don't. Fuck! This match was horrible, Chris. It was so bad. It was 21 minutes of shit. Why couldn't you just have a 6-minute match? You come out, Rusev gets the heat, Cena performs all his moves, he wins with the AA, everyone goes home. You know how hard it is to get a crowd invested in a match where you cannot sell a submission or a pinfall? In modern WWE, you know how hard that is? Think about how that they were selling the flag like it was 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
I read about that, yeah.
How about Rusev hitting John Cena with the flag holder and then putting the flag holder back just because? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And here, this is exactly, because I heard that the crowd was dead for this match.
Oh, deader than dead. You could hear a pin drop.
This is why foreign heel gimmicks need to fucking die in WWE, because it shit doesn't work anymore. Fucking kill it. It's over.
This
over and dead.
Match was no good. This match, you think for John Cena, you'd get a lot better than this. Now, yes, the stipulation was terrible, but Christ, man, like I can't even express how disappointed I am in this match in both of these competitors. These guys.
It's also the fact that, like, we've seen John Cena and Rusev fight each other in so many different matches. I mean, and there have been so many different stipulation matches too. And it's like, okay, another stipulation match between the guy who's fighting for America and the guy who hates America. Big fucking whoop. And two guys that we've seen fight in styles like this. This is essentially there are very few differences other than the aesthetics between this match and the Russian Chain match that they had at Extreme Rules 2015.
I was at that match. No, I was at the Four Corners match.
That's what that is. That was what that was.
Chris.
Yeah,
Let me tell you in the building how terrible that match was.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I heard that the crowd was fucking.
Oh, you know how hard it is to get the Allstate Arena crowd to be dead for anything? Like, we are a boisterous crowd. We like
Yes.
to pop and cheer and chant, and we're smarky as fuck. You know what we don't ever do is be quiet.
You don't sit on your hands, that's
Nope.
for sure.
Nope. Yeah, we've been some stinker John Cena matches. Thankfully, not too many. Thankfully, not too many.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this was his knock the rust off match.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because we're going to get Cena Nakamura. We're getting Cena Nakamura next week. And if we get, this John Cena against this Nakamura, it'll be a bad match. Now, if we get the John Cena from any other match and the Nakamura from Tuesday, it'll be a good match. So I'm optimistic, assuming it doesn't, go 6 minutes and then end with a run-in.
I really hope not. Because if
this is where SmackDown suffers. They don't have an overrun, so you look at the clock and you're like, "Oh man, it's 8:58. They got to go home soon."
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Raw, you don't know how long the match is going to go because it can go over. So
yeah.
Then again, the last thing this company needs is even more wrestling time to fill. So
God. Yeah, no, just enough. Enough is enough.
Do we care about Sami Zayn, Mike Kanellis? Do you like how they're pretty much ending the Mike Kanellis experiment?
Already? I could not possibly give any fewer shits about this.
I'm going to say this, and then we're going to move on to the abomination that was the Punjabi prison. Mike Kanellis is not a good enough wrestler at this level. He's not.
Yeah.
He's just not. You have to. We give this company shit a lot of it deserved. I would argue all of it deserved because we don't speak in hyperbole. But you need to have a certain standard of in-ring competence to be successful in the WWE.
Yes.
Mike Kanellis does not meet that standard. He's below that standard.
100%.
So there's a problem here.
And I said it last week, and I'll say it again here. Mike Kanellis is not the star of this. Maria is supposed to be the star. Maria is the one that people care about. And the fact that they did nothing to give her any standing or give her any sort of recognition or worth right out the gate, except to put her on the stick. I mean, yeah, she's great on the stick, but Maria's the better performer of the two of them in the ring and on the stick. So why are we even having like Mike Kanellis matches? I mean, is it Vince really that much against adding more women to the show? Is that really the problem here? Because if that's the case, then he needs to fucking step aside. If he thinks that Mike Kanellis is going to be a more worthwhile performer than Maria.
Maria wasn't a good wrestler 5 years ago, though.
No, she wasn't. Well, that's the thing. She doesn't need to be a good wrestler because her ability to be a hated heel against a beloved babyface makes up for that. Mike Kanellis has nothing to him. There's nothing there.
No, he's bland and boring and useless.
Yeah. At least nothing. Maria has something you can latch onto and be engaged about. Mike has god-awful nothingness to him.
Truth. Have you watched the main event?
No. I only saw the clip of the end of the main event.
Chris.
I'm never watching this, by the way. I'm never happening.
This match went 28 minutes long. Okay? I don't care. Oh, before we go to the main event, no, we'll talk about this later. Sorry. I don't want to go out of order. I don't care how much smoke, how many mirrors, how many run-ins, how much whatever. A 30-minute Punjabi prison match is a unilateral and unconditional disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina was less of a disaster than this match.
Wow!
This match fucking sucked. It was terrible. You know what? I know you are a fan of the Philadelphia sports teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them a hand. Because every time they chanted trust the process and Markel Fultz and go Eagles go, I stood and clapped. Because I wasn't clapping for Randy Orton. I don't know if this match was better or worse than the Bray Wyatt match at WrestleMania. I don't know if this match was better or worse than the House of Horrors. What I do know is that Randy Orton has had 3 of all of the all-time bad matches this year.
Fucking Christ.
You know how we talk about how Eric Young is the worst part of Sanity?
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal is far and away the worst part of this act. The Singh brothers are awesome. Without that, can you imagine how bad the Jinder Mahal show would be without the Singh brothers? Seriously, pretend they weren't there and he was on his own. How bad would this be?
Well, we saw that. We saw how bad that was when he first started getting his push. We saw how bad that was. It's just, oh God.
I mean, how about the fact? Let's wrap our head around the fact they built a match with 2 cages around outside interference. You know?
It's even more egregiously bad than the fucking Hell in a Cell match where Owens ran in to help Jericho.
How about this?
Or Jericho ran in to help Owens. I'm sorry.
You ready for this? Randy Orton, who has had the 3 worst matches of the year. In fact, my ballot for worst matches of the year is going to include the 3 Randy Orton matches I mentioned. I haven't figured out the order yet.
Right.
I mean, it's in some capacity. Randy Orton is going to be in the worst match of the year in some form or fashion, unless we get something like Sharmell Jenna Maraska or something. I mean, something that's just an all-time bad match. Okay. Randy Orton, who has been in the 3 worst matches of the year, may be starting a feud with the Great Khali. Yeah, think of that.
In the year of our Lord 2017.
In the year of our Lord 2017, we're gonna get Randy Orton versus the Great Khali. And you know what? I may be on an island here, hanging out with Tom Hanks and Wilson. 3 of us are on an island. I don't think Randy Orton has been that bad this year. I think it's been Bray Wyatt and Jinder Mahal.
I actually agree with you on that. Randy Orton has not been bad. He hasn't been motivated, but he hasn't been outright bad.
Matches. You know what I'm saying? Like
he hasn't been outright bad, but the unmotivated Randy Orton is definitely showing.
I don't think he's unmotivated. He took some hellacious bumps in this match. He was bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think honestly what it is that he is just trying to make the most of what he's being given, but he probably is just like, this is not going to look good for me no matter what I do, so I might as well just go out on a limb and do whatever. And some of it turns out to be good, some of it turns out to be bad, but he's like the bad that he is surrounded by just brings him down.
He's not good enough to rise up above the bad. Is the problem.
Yeah.
If you present with him something good, he will do well. If you present with him something bad, he will do badly. Excuse me, he will do badly. He's not good enough to rise, to elevate the game of his opponent. He's not Chris Paul, where you can make his teammates better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not LeBron James or anything like that, who can make his teammates better, who can drag a bad match to mediocrity or a mediocre match to good. He can't. He's just not that. He's not that guy. He's not John Cena. For a while, for a little bit, for very little, there was a Cena or Orton debate. Very little, and then Cena started drawing monster houses, and that ended that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in the ring, there was a Cena or Orton debate. In fact, I would argue that early on in their careers, Orton was a better wrestler.
Yes, 100%. I will agree.
He never got better, and Cena got better.
Yeah, Orton plateaued.
Yes,
and I mean, there's nothing wrong with plateauing when you're pretty high up.
Yeah.
But if you can't get to that elite level like Cena has done, then then all you're doing. Then I mean, you're still an asset, but you're not as much of an asset as others.
No, we talked about how New Japan is Okada at 1 and Naito at 1A in terms of drawing ability, right?
Yeah.
For a while, it was Cena at 1, Batista at 1A, and Orton at 2. And he's never, ever regained that. He's drawn exactly once in his career, and that was against Triple H and Steph and Vince in the spring of 2009, which was 8 years ago, excuse me.
Yeah.
He's never been a draw. He is a polarizing at best in-ring competitor. I like watching him wrestle because I like that Bobby Roode slow, methodical style of wrestling. Personally,
Yeah,
a lot of
I
people,
enjoyed that.
a lot of people
Really
don't.
added,
A lot of people don't. More power to him.
when he really started to slow it down a bit, when he turned heel to join the Wyatts, like that added some dimension to that style,
Yes.
and I enjoyed that.
Yes, I like the viciousness of that style.
But,
I fully acknowledge that style is not for everybody. It works for me, so I've always been a fan of the guy, and because I'm the body marker, I've always liked his look.
yeah.
But he can't draw, and that's that. And he's never. I don't want to say it's wasted potential because I don't think he's been dogging it. I don't think he's Albert Bell or anything like that. But I always wonder what he could have done if he hadn't joined the WWE at 20 or however old he was, 21.
And here's a fun thing. I just thought about,
Sure.
for a guy who's 37 years old,
mm-hmm.
a legacy in this company, and has been a company man for the better part of 2 decades now. This is a hell of a way to pay the guy back for volunteering to get split open by Brock Lesnar last year.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a way to give him a payback, to throw him into 3 straight god awful, 2 straight god awful programs that were highlighted / lowlighted, if you want to call it that, by 3 abysmal matches.
What's your favorite
the absolute hits?
What's your favorite Randy Orton match of all time? I have a few. I didn't expect this to turn into a conversation about Randy Orton, but that's part of the fun of this show.
I gotta go with the WrestleMania 30 main event. That was a
good one. He brought it then.
Yeah,
he put his boots on then. You're right about that.
It's all 3 guys. It is all 3 guys in that match. But
and Trips and Steph. That's a team effort.
For a guy to take a table spot and land on a monitor that he didn't realize was there, take it in the back, and then still do everything else he did in the match, that was a hellacious effort.
You can see that bruise forming as the match went on. Do you remember that?
I know.
You know what I love? There's a great one with, I think it's like him and someone else versus the Rhodes brothers, or maybe it was him versus Goldust from 2013. That I liked a lot. Am I just making something up here? Is this fake news? Is this fake news sad?
I don't recall very well because
during the whole Shield thing, I think there was a Orton versus the Rhodes brothers. Remember when
it might have been
Authority was going to fire Goldust or something? You remember this?
Yeah, it was this. It might have been. It was this when the Shield had the tag team titles.
Yeah.
And then they brought back.
Let's go to the old
Dusty
machine.
and then
Orton,
had to do
Goldust.
Yeah. The other one that I really like.
It's on Raw. Randy Orton versus Goldust, 23-minute longs. I'm gonna have to watch this match.
The other one that I really like.
October 2013. Let's watch this later. Put this in the live thread.
Yeah. The other one that I really like, I'm gonna look it up here because I know that they had a series of them. But during the feud with Kofi Kingston, the one match, I don't remember if it was a Falls Count Anywhere match or if it was a Last Man Standing match, one of the two. But the match where Kofi did the boom drop through the table on him in the middle of the crowd, that was a great match. I loved that. That was a ton of fun. That Randy Orton Kofi Kingston feud, that, if not for Kofi getting injured, that should have been what propelled Kofi to the world title. That was a hell of a program. They had a lot of great matches. The one bit where Kofi fucks up the NASCAR car that Orton had gotten gifted to him by the other guys in Legacy. Yeah, that was a great bit from both of those guys, and I really wish they had been that. I really wish Kofi had not been injured, so that they could have seen that through to fruition.
Truth. My point is that your favorite Orton matches are not, other than 30 match, which was an ensemble cast, are not all-time great matches. Shouldn't an all-time great should have some all-time great matches, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like our favorite Cena match is a litany of all-time great matches.
Yeah.
Our favorite Roman Reigns match is a litany of one of a few all-time great matches.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite Brock Lesnar match, same thing. Our favorite AJ Styles match, same thing. Our favorite Tanahashi match, same thing. Right? But Randy Orton doesn't
Okada, Naito, all these guys.
But our favorite Randy Orton match is a match that's just kind of forgettable. Because is a match that's just like Randy Orton. Technically sound, but forgettable. So, all right. That was that. Oh, and
you forgot the ending. You forgot the ending because for the people who for the people who didn't hear about it, the Great Khali is back in WWE in the year of our Lord 2017.
And he's somehow moving better than he did 10 years ago.
he helped Jinder Mahal win the match by just shaking the prison
and choking.
All he did, and choking Orton. He shook the prison and choked.
His hand is bigger than Orton's head, which was a great little visual.
Oh Jesus!
Yep. Smoke and mirrors, baby. Smoke and mirrors.
And I love the fact that they had to bring him back because Jinder Mahal's not getting enough of a draw in India.
Why would he? He's not.
It's like, how did they not see this coming, though? How did they not know?
Because
you put the fucking belt on Jinder Mahal.
Chris, the guy running the show is a moron.
The guy running this show took like 18,000 share shots during the Attitude Era. He needs
God knows how many
retire.
Steroids. God knows how many steroids.
I had a interesting dream the other night. One of my many dreams where I win the lottery.
Oh.
And
I had a dream in this particular one, I was in Kazakhstan. But go on. And nobody wore pants.
That's a weird place.
And nobody wore pants.
But in this particular dream, I, in my infinite wisdom, decided to spend part of my winnings to buy a minority share of stock in WWE. Enough to merit a visit to me by Stephanie McMahon, whereby I proceeded to.
You were berated.
No, where I proceeded to berate her and tell her, your father took too many chair shots to the head. He is mentally unsound, and you need to push him to the side and put your husband in charge of creative of this company. I don't care who runs the business side of things. The business side of things is well in hand. They've proven that they make great business decisions, but the creative side of the company, for the actual product that is being put out on a weekly basis on television, is god-awful. And there's no metric that you can give me that tells me that I'm wrong in saying that. Unfortunately, I don't remember what exactly it was that was her response, but that I gave her the Riot Act in this particular dream.
It's a good dream. Yeah. I approve of this dream.
Yeah. And somebody needs to give them the Riot Act. Somebody needs to give Stephanie and Shane the Riot Act about this. They need to I'm sure that they know it, and they might just be in denial about it, or they may just be waiting it out or something. I don't know. But somebody needs to go to them and confront them and verbalize these points and say, this is not okay. There is no other business or company where this would work. And the only reason why this isn't working is because your only competition is run by a fucking incompetent who's more concerned with getting his own name over than the actual talent on his roster. Never mind paying them what they deserve. My God.
Sweet. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just got a prediction for Nakamura Cena next week. Do you think we have an actual match, and do we think we have an actual finish?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I hope we have
because we are clearly on the John Cena farewell tour. So he's trying to get as many of his great matches done as he can before he rides off into the sunset.
I hope that we have a match, and I hope that it's a goddamn fantastic match. I really hope so.
I hope it starts at 8:00.
Yeah.
or 9 o'clock your time. So that way we don't get the whole, oh man, there's 3 minutes left. They got to go to the finish, like I talked about earlier.
Exactly. I want them to have like a legitimate match. I don't want to fucking run in by Rusev. I don't want to run in by Mahal or Kali or the Singh brothers or Randy or anybody. I want this to be an actual honest to goodness match. And I want to see what Jinder Mahal I want to see what John Cena and Shinsuke Nakamura can put together before one of them has to go and face Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam and probably lose to him at SummerSlam.
Who do you think wins?
I think Cena wins.
So do I.
Because he's John Cena.
So do I.
But I am hoping to God that Nakamura brings his A game, and and that we get the Cena Nakamura match that we deserve to get. The fans deserve to see two of the all-time greats, two guys who are pillars of excellence in the professional wrestling world, have a honest to goodness match without all of the bullshit that WWE throws into all of their matches. None of this overbooking garbage with run-ins. None of this, one of you is going to sell for 20 minutes and then suddenly fire up and come back. I want an honest to goodness match that makes the Nakamura Zayn match look like amateur hour. That's what I want.
Works for me. That's what I want too. Curious as to why they're putting this on television. I think they think television is more important than pay-per-view these days.
Probably. Well, I mean, how can they argue with that with network subscribers down to what is it, 1.6 million or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. The overall number is decreased, but the number of paid is increased. I think is what happened.
Yeah, it's like I said, every metric that they have, every metric says that things are bad right now, that things are not going well, and people are not appreciating the product. And for them to continue treading water like this is just unforgivable. Let's see. Raw.
Raw.
Let's talk about that opening segment of Raw.
Yeah, here for that.
Yeah,
that a lot. That was good.
Big lads wrestling. I like Videns GLaDOS' term for this.
Brian Alvarez has a theory that I like. And the theory goes something like, for a long time, WWE was just big guys. So people wanted to see little guys because it was different. And then they hired all these little guys. But during that time, people missed the big guys because they went away. Now we get the big guys back and people are happy.
Yeah.
I like this theory. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? Plus, when you
it's also important.
When you have four big guys who are unbelievably great, it helps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're long past are the days of fucking Khali versus Big Show.
Or Conway or whomever.
Or Kane versus fucking what's his name? What was the name after he was Prince Albert?
Lord Tenzan
Lord Tenzan. That kind of shit.
Tons of funk.
Oh my God, Brodus Clay. Why?
Yeah. Good God. But hey, brought us Naomi in a roundabout way. That was cool.
Yes, this is true. But yeah, you need to have talent behind the spectacle, and these four guys clearly have talent to go behind the spectacle.
Oh yeah,
and they're all putting
doing great work
in spades. It's fantastic.
Great work.
Oh, speaking of spades, can I just say I heard about Natalia's accidental racism.
Whoa, what happened?
I'm talking smack.
News to me.
Oh yeah, on I don't know if it was on Talking Smack or in a post-show promo or something, but she was talking about you're saying something about Naomi's desecration of the title, and Natalya was going on some litany about it, and she says, I'm not trying to be insulting to Naomi, I'm just calling a spade a spade.
That racist?
Spade is used to be it technically still is a derogatory term for African Americans.
Is it? I had no idea. I believe you.
Yes.
I've never used it before in that conjunction. So
it was Talking Smack. Okay, thank you, Matt DSM.
I got to plead ignorance here. I would not have known that. It doesn't make it right. ignorance is no defense. It's just
No, of
I had
course
no
not. I
idea.
mean, absolutely accident. I mean, I'm sure it was absolutely accidental on Natalia's part. I'm sure that she,
Oh yeah, I would
you
be
know,
astonished if she was
yeah,
intentional. But
yeah. I mean, Natalia is outside of the ring is one
don't
of the
be an
nicest
accidental
people in the
racist.
company. But
Yeah,
yeah, think ahead next time about those kinds of things, please.
I know. I've never heard that used as anything other than the idiom in which she used it.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
all right.
Raw should be good. Are you excited for the Ambrose what the hell's his name? Rollins pairing?
Rollins.
I like the
I'm
story they're telling
actually
that Ambrose can't quite get over it yet, which makes sense.
I'm actually okay with them telling this story now.
Me
I
too.
like that they've kept the continuity going, and I like that they are, like you said, having Ambrose not be quite able to get over it, and they're giving us a reason to care about the potential reunion. It's not like it was where they just hot shotted them in that one triple threat match where Rollins was still a heel, and Roman and Dean were still faces, and then Rollins walked out on them towards the end of the match. It's not like that. It's they actually are giving us some honest to goodness character development from the two of them, and I like that. I like this. I like where this is going. I'm really hoping though that they don't immediately hotshot it to then they try and bring Roman back into the gang. Like
No, he's grown past that.
have them run for a bit as a tag team. If the rumors are true, have them challenge for the tag team titles because Dean Seth versus Sheamus Cesaro will be a really good match. I'm sure that it will be a really fun match to watch. And see how the Brooklyn crowd reacts to it at SummerSlam if they put together a good match.
Agreed.
I mean, because having been part of Brooklyn crowds in the past, I know that we are certainly quite the discerning bunch. That's one way to describe us. But they'll let you know if they're not feeling it. So I think that they'll be feeling it. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. Emma trying to date Jason Jordan is I don't know what to make of that.
We got to talk about this. How quick is too quick to abandon this Jason Jordan thing? I'm not feeling it one iota.
I mean, they gave one segment this week, and they didn't even have Jason and Kurt really interact. They just made the match.
I'm not feeling. I've never been a big Jason Jordan guy. I don't think he has the charisma to get over. I think Chad Gable was the charisma factory of that team.
I'll
said it was a good squash.
I'll disagree with you there because, I think that Jordan has his moments. If you go back and watch their promo after they won the tag titles from the Revival in Dallas, that promo was all Jordan. I was like, Jason Jordan was the emotional hook to that, 100%. He definitely has his moments and he has the ability, but I think that he needs somebody else to play off of. And I also think that as a singles performer, he has potential, but I don't think he has potential to really be like an attention grabber. I feel like it's going to end up being like it was when Big E first had his first run on the main roster, where he was Big E Langston, and they strapped the Intercontinental title to him, and then proceeded to do absolutely nothing with it. I feel like that's what we're headed towards with Jason Jordan, because he's a guy with a great body and a great look.
Yep,
but
I'll give him that. He's the anti-Cass in that regard.
Absolutely, yeah. But I don't think that they are going to do anything to capitalize on it. It's not because they don't value Jason Jordan. I think that they just have too much other stuff going on to really give him the time that he needs to become a player. I don't think that he's going to have enough of an opportunity to really make his presence felt, even if he does win the title off the Miz.
Yeah, it's crowded right now. You know what this company needs is a good cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, and the other half of that equation that I brought up, Emma is clearly trying to get herself released as quickly as possible because
I
she
am
does not.
excited for Tennille back in Shimmer.
Oh yeah, 100,000%. I am all in for that. I will buy every single Shimmer DVD that comes out. Hell, I might even come to Chicago for the first weekend when she is on Shimmer.
Yeah, you can hang out here with me.
Shimmer
Bring an air
again.
mattress.
Yeah,
Bring an
yeah.
air mattress. We'll go.
Come to your apartment. We'll do the podcast live at your apartment, and
We'll
then
do
we'll
it
spend
live. We'll have a party. It'll be
we'll
fun.
spend the weekend
We'll
at
watch
the Eagles
scraps.
Club. Yeah,
We'll watch some Shibata matches. R.I.P. Sky Point. It'll be fun.
he's not dead. Come on.
That's fine. You're right. Anything else with WWE before we blitz through the G1?
Well, I actually wanted to talk NXT actually because
Sure.
had a good week.
Oh, yeah.
You talked about Ember Moon.
Yeah, Ember Moon cut a good promo, which I've been asking
that
for.
That promo was fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
I wouldn't go that. Whoa, pump the brakes. It was good. It wasn't fair. I mean, there's not no Ember 316 here. No Ember pipe bomb here.
Listen,
this ain't no Ember hard times here. Let's pump the. I mean, I know it's a low bar. You're great down a curve.
It's a subjective measurement. I didn't say perfect, but for what NXT delivers, I'd say that this was definitely in the upper echelon of what NXT has given us promo wise. I mean,
segment. Her beating the shit out of people is always fun.
Yeah, I mean, and especially against a bigger opponent like Lady Tapa, especially that worked very well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did.
Very, very well done there.
Here's a question for you. SummerSlam match. Do you have Asuka kick out of the O-face the first time or no?
I feel like
it's fairly clear she's going to lose the match.
If Asuka kicks out,
or whatever the hell it's called, the Eclipse.
If Asuka kicks out, I think that will be the death of that idea, because there are so few things that are just like the one hit KO moves. Like you've got the end of days, you've got Roman's spear, which even that has been nerfed a little bit. I mean, granted, it was Braun that kicked out of it, but still, like, the end of days. I think Dirty Deeds also might be incredibly well protected as a finisher too.
Forearm.
Of everything.
The AJ forearm where he takes the armband off is
phenomenal forearm. Yeah,
where he takes the little elbow pad off and it's just skin.
Yeah,
that's really well protected.
Yeah, and the Eclipse, I think, deserves that status as well because it's unique and because they have gone out of their way to make it so. I think that you have Asuka do some of the same stuff that she did in San Antonio San Antonio was it San Antonio? It was Orlando. It was Orlando. I'm sorry.
Yeah. San Antonio was the Icons and Nikki Cross in a 4-way.
Yeah, I think you have her try and do some of the same tricks that she did in Orlando to avoid it. But I think ultimately Ember has to hit it and have it be the end of the match, because if you have spent literally a year, they have spent literally a year building this finish as a kill move, and if Asuka kicks out of it as still the most dominant champion in the entire company,
what if she loses the match? What if it takes 2 though? Is what I'm saying.
Even if it takes 2, like, I don't know. I mean, this is my body mark. My body mark does not come out of the closet very often, but this is my body mark coming out of the closet for a minute. Asuka is not a paragon of strength or size or physical dominance. Yeah, she is violent as all hell, and she has the ability to beat the shit out of you. But first glance at Asuka, you think, oh, eccentric Japanese woman. You don't think, psycho ass kicker. You think, oh, eccentric Japanese woman. That's and then when you see her do what she does, that's when you realize, oh God, this woman could kill me with one foot. You know, I think that if you're going to have somebody kick out of the Eclipse, it has to be somebody like, I hate to use Nia Jax as the example here, but I mean, it has to be somebody like her. Or, you know, of the people who are coming in for the Mae Young Classic, like somebody like a Jazzy Gabbard, who is, you know, scary, imposing figure. Or even somebody like a Shayna Baszler, who has been conditioned to take that kind of punishment, you know, and who looks the part of having, you know, being able to take that kind of punishment and then dish it right back again without being phased by it. I don't think having Asuka kick out of the Eclipse is the right move, and I hope that they don't do that. I mean, yeah, of course it'll, you know, build tension in the match and all that stuff, but I really think it would be a big blow to what has been, as I said, a year-long build.
I think I agree with that.
This finisher. Let's see, Aleister Black got two awesome promos, two awesome promo videos, vignettes. I really want them to do something significant with him soon, because, like, yeah, having him come out and kill fools is fun, but I think whoever wins the title in Brooklyn, Black needs to be the next one to challenge him.
Yes, agreed.
Either that, or send him up to the cruiserweights.
Rude.
Either that, or send him up to the cruiserweights and have him kick the shit out of Neville. That's you gotta shit or get off the pot with the guy. Velveteen Dream, he's good. He's good at what he does. But they need,
he's also very young, which is nice.
But they need to fucking stop with the whole flamboyant shit. I am 100%.
I don't trust this company to get that right.
Yeah, Sean Reuter has said it every week that Dream has shown up on NXT, and I'm still 100% in agreement with him. Every time Nigel McGuinness says things on commentary about him being flamboyant, makes me grimace. I'm dreading the day that they take it the next step, if they decide to take it to the next step.
It's coming. It's coming, my friend. Be ready for it.
It's like it's that, and if they ever decide to take the next step with the Icons and officially, like, say that they are lovers, like, because that's the other thing that I'm, like, dreading is eventually going to happen. Like, because this company, you said it right. I don't trust them. I don't trust them with that kind of thing. I really do not. McIntyre's promo was fantastic.
Yes.
It was maybe a little bit generic, but McIntyre delivered a hell of a promo, and that's what we needed there. I'm looking forward to that match a lot. And Tommy Ono, I don't know. I feel like this is.
I feel like this is the feud for guys who have been passed by.
And I feel like this is also the sun slowly setting on Hideo Itami's time in WWE.
I don't think it's that slow.
I think he's.
I don't think it's that slow.
I think he's going to have a final match in Brooklyn, and I think he's gonna be sent on his way.
I can see that.
Which is kind of sad. I had a tough break, but you know, what are you gonna do? You can't stop the progress. You know, Clutch, great band. If you don't know Clutch, you should listen to Clutch. Clutch had a song called "You Can't Stop the Progress."
I like it.
That's 100% right. The rest of NXT has progressed for Hideo Itami to still be there, and to basically have been left behind. So when they brought him back, they should have just sent him straight to the main roster. They should not have had him try to have this farewell tour in NXT. They should have just sent him straight to the main roster. And I get that if there's injury, like the injury prone concerns, if that's what the issue was, then all right, fine. This has just gone on for too long, and you've officially wasted any opportunity that you had for this guy.
Yep.
But that is what it is. Now let's move on to the G1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
baby.
we had a week of great stuff.
Saving it.
Yeah, so last week we were up to we had up to what was it? We had 3 days of matches in the books with night 4 forthcoming. So let's run through what we had. What'd you say?
I said now we got a lot more in the books. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Your mic cut out for a minute there. I was like,
Sorry.
oh God, what happened? Did he go away on me again?
No, I'm here. You can't get rid of me that easily. Oh, we have good matches tonight or tomorrow night. Oh, we have really good matches tomorrow night.
Let's go through what has already passed though. First.
And by tomorrow night, I mean like 4 hours from now, whatever the hell it airs.
Yeah. All right. Night 4. Was it? Wait, really? Was this?
Where is night 4?
Yeah.
Stupid ass computer.
Wait, no.
This
was night 3. This was still night 3 with this was Yoshihashi Naito main event. So that was night 3. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Bushi Saber. Okay, so here we go. Night 4. All right. Night 4. B block action. Toru Yano over Satoshi Kojima. Fun time. Typical Yano match.
Toru Yano.
Yep.
Yeah.
Evil over Juice Robinson. Juice
Robinson's the greatest. Isn't he so awesome?
I wasn't quite with it when Vidance proposed it earlier this week, but I'm gonna say it now. MVP of B block is Juice Robinson.
Really? Let me think. Let me pull up the old B block.
Yeah.
It's certainly not Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
It's
MVP
of B block.
The only other person who it could be would be Elgin at this point, I think.
Elgin or Sonata. I loved Sonata Okada.
Let's.
I loved it so much.
I actually haven't watched that yet. I think that's the next match I have to watch.
So good.
Let's see.
I'll tell you why it was great.
Speaking of Sonata, Sonata lost to Minoru Suzuki. Pretty good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Sonata giving no shits about Suzuki is both in character and awesome. I like the fact that he just was completely unfazed by the aura of intimidation that Minoru Suzuki possesses. I really love that. Kenny Omega defeated Tamatanga in a Bullet Club grudge match. I like that they did this way. Watching the slow implosion of Bullet Club. That's the slow implosion of Bullet Club that will probably be resolved at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Is proving to be more entertaining than I thought it would be, and I'm hoping that Cody Rhodes continues to not be involved in it. And then the main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated Michael Elgin in a hellacious match.
So good.
Yeah. Great match.
Just an unbelievable great match. Yep. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, this one was a ton of fun. I loved this match.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think Elgin should have won.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. G1 is a place where you can have Okada lose. I mean, they did a lot.
I would love if they just said, oh, wait a second, let me see something. I'm trying to figure this out. Where? Oh man, fuck! I forgot about that. I forgot Omega lost to Elgin because I was calling for Omega and Okada to run the table and have their third match be for the semifinals. But I mean, you still can have that. You still can have Omega Okada, but you need Okada to lose now because Elgin beat Omega.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my bad. I forgot about that. The match was really great too. I should remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a hell of a fun match. Definitely high up there on lists of great matches that these guys have had this year, and both you guys are having great years.
Mike's having an awesome year. In fact, he's having an awesome past 2 years.
Yeah, 5 sure. Night 5, back to A block. Zack Sabre over Yoshihashi. Serviceable match. Zack Sabre is still putting on great matches. Yoshihashi is Yoshihashi. Not bad. Tanahashi over Nagata. God, ace. Ace.
Yeah.
This was,
You know what I love about this match, though?
sucked. What?
I like the Tanahashi playing heel.
Yeah, that was
like
good.
That. Here's a question for you.
Mhm.
How much longer you think? Now, we talked about Nagata. This is his last G1.
Yes.
We're coming on it sooner rather than later, but how much longer do you think until we get to Tanahashi's last G1?
I mean, if he continues to be irresponsible about handling his arm, this could
He's
very
always
well.
hurt, though. He's always hurt. His arm, his knee, his back. The
A
guy's
torn
always hurt.
bicep is
Fucking
much
crazy.
more extreme than just being banged up, though.
I know
Especially at
that.
40.
Every year he's hurt. We always get this story with him, though. The guy's fucking crazy.
I mean,
he's crazy.
This might inadvertently be if he doesn't do the right thing and get this properly treated after the G1. I mean, I know he doesn't want to miss the dome either, but like if he doesn't do something to get this properly addressed, this could spell the slow decline and end of his career sooner rather than later. Because a torn bicep, like eventually you will just lose all ability to use that arm convincingly in any capacity. So do what you got to do, Ace. For the love of God, I know you're not listening, but I am sending this message out. I'm sending this message out to the universe, and if anybody is listening that can get the message through to Tanahashi, get the goddamn surgery. End of story. Bad Luck Fale over Naito. Naito did not succeed in getting revenge for Daryl Takahashi. We haven't talked about Daryl. No!
Oh, my heart aches.
Yeah. For those who missed it, this was actually during night 4. A tag match between Bullet Club and LIJ, and Bad Luck Fale tore Daryl Takahashi to pieces.
Yeah, it's just
our hearts are broken for this beautiful, amazing stuffed cat.
Why does the universe hate us, Chris?
All good things
we suffer?
Taken from us far too early.
2017 has not been bad enough of a year.
I know.
We had a ray of sunshine in Daryl the Stuffed Cat, and that rat bastard Bad Luck Fale.
And he's kept rubbing it in too on Twitter. He's worse than Tommaso Ciampa at this point.
This year wasn't bad enough. Now,
Bad Luck Fale, you must be punished for this. You must feel pain. You must pay for your crimes.
You must pay for your sins, my friend.
You shall pay for your transgressions.
You want to talk about how great Yuji Nagata's been?
Yeah, sure. Let's go back. Let's go back a match. Yeah, let's talk.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just like bombing. If I talk about Daryl, I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Yuji Nagata. Then I won't cry.
All right, good.
Yuji Nagata, pretty great.
Absolutely.
I like the match with Naito. I like all 4 of his matches. Goto, Naito, Tanahashi, and Yoshihashi. Even Yoshihashi.
Mm-hmm.
This is Yuji Nagata's last G1. He has not won a match. We saw Jushin Liger in his last Best of Super Juniors not win a match.
He won one. Won one match.
Won one. I think Yuji Nagata wins one match.
Yeah.
And I think it's against Bad Luck Fale. Because remember, he was Bad Luck Fale's mentor a lifetime ago when he was King Fale. Fale joined the Bullet Club.
That
his
is
very
last
G1 match. His very last G1 match is at the Sumo Hall the last night of the G1. Bad Luck Fale.
It's the second to last night of the G1. The final 8 block show.
Yep. Final 8 block show. It's where Tanahashi and Naito will be the main event. But somewhere on that undercard, Yuji Nagata, 48 years old, however the hell old he is going to spoil the G1 for Bad Luck Fale. You know what? Excited for that. Yep. You don't know the difference between New Japan and WWE is. We talked a little bit about this in the pre-show.
I've been waiting for this. I can't wait to hear this. Please proceed.
Okay. Oh, this is Yuji Nagata's last G1. He's 49 years old. He's getting his head kicked in G1. He's lost every match. They've been competitive, but he's lost every match. He's just not quite good enough to get it done. Because that's what happens to old guys in sports, right? For every one Tom Brady, brother Chris, you get 10 Donovan McNabbs, an old guy who's just barely hanging on until he retires. You know? Mm-hmm. In the WWE, old guys come in and they kick the shit out of everybody. Goldberg, remember?
Undertaker.
Yeah. Sting. They come in, they win, they look dominant.
Yep.
In New Japan, they don't. I like that dichotomy. Because if Yuji Nagata came in and he was dominant, or even if he was average, if he had 8 points, 9 points, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The question would be, why is he retiring? Well, he's retiring because he's not dominant anymore. And he's retiring because he just can't quite get it done versus the Young Bucks. And I don't mean Matt and Nick. I bet he could dominate the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah, put him in a handicap match with the Young Bucks. I would pay dollars for that.
Slap him in the head over and over again.
Doing the arm bar on both of them at once. I would love that.
I like Yuji Nagata a lot. He's been wrestling for almost my whole life. He's great. I like him in this role.
The T-shirt bit is still awesome.
Kind of sad. Oh, agreed. I'm kind of sad that this is his last G1. So that's that.
I feel like this might either this year or next year might be Kojima's last one too, because Kojima hasn't won a match yet either.
No. And then who's left?
Tanahashi would then be the next one to go.
We got a few years for him.
Tenzan's already said that he's out. Actually, no. Technically, no. Still got Makabe and Honma. And Honma needs to have
God knows.
Honma needs to have a big one come back next year when he comes back.
Yeah,
Makabe is not a young guy, but he's still got a few miles left. Ishii obviously also not a young guy, but he's just
awesome.
He's hitting his fucking peak at age 40. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. By the way, the match is like 6 hours, right?
Let me wax poetic for a minute here about Tomohiro Ishii.
Sure. He's wrestling in like
the man
5 hours or 6 hours.
The man is probably the antithesis of what you would expect any kind of professional wrestling performer to be, just at first blush. Guy comes to the ring, does not interact with any fans on his way to the ring, doesn't give anybody high fives, doesn't even look at people when he's walking past them. He just walks straight to the ring, beelines to the ring, gets in the ring, stretches, and waits for his opponent. And then when he gets going, he fucking goes. This guy, at 41, at age 41, puts on more convincing performances than guys 10 years younger than him. He makes it look real. And probably does some things that probably are real, like a match that we haven't talked about yet, but a couple of those headbutt spots with Kota Ibushi, I feel like Ibushi might have had his jaw cracked a few times there because of that.
Let me read you a text exchange. Oh, go on.
The guy has been wrestling now for 21 years. Debuted November 2nd, 1996.
We're talking about Ishii?
Yeah, Ishii.
Okay.
220 pounds as build weight, 5'7". Again, I said,
he's like 5'5". I've met him. He's little.
As I said, not the guy who you would look at and say he's a wrestler. This guy is not the larger than life character that people expect, and that's because promotions like WWE and TNA have trained us to expect larger than life characters. Even New Japan, with the way that they portrayed Tanahashi first and now Okada as these larger than life, bigger than everybody else kind of guys, like just a step above. Ishii is a step above, but completely unassumingly. And that's what makes him special. The guy goes into that ring, and you would never take him to be more than a bit player. But he, more often than not, is the star of the night. The match of the night, more often than not, will go to Tomohiro Ishii. Because what he does in that ring, you buy into it. I mean, yeah, everybody loves a Rainmaker pose. Everybody loves a high fly flow to the floor. Those are all things that will grab your attention. But when Ishii just starts cracking dudes across the neck with that forearm, when he's just throwing his head around as a fucking weapon, you pay attention. I cannot say enough good things about what Ishii has been doing in the year 2017 because he has been a goddamn star. And if they don't give him another run with a belt, and I'm not talking about a tag belt, I'm not talking about a six-man belt. If they don't give him a run with a legitimate run with another singles title, they are shooting themselves in the foot because this guy is stealing the show. He's stealing the show from guys who are 5-10 years younger than him and being billed as bigger stars than him. He is proving to be the equal of the upper echelon performers. He has had three matches that I would rate as 4.75 or 5 stars against Kenny Omega this year.
Yeah.
It is a sight to see. So
I'm going to read you a text exchange between my dad, our de facto third host of this show, and
yes.
me. This is from Wednesday, July 12th.
Okay.
Just saw Lethal vs. Omega. Me. Oh, did you like it? Wait till the main event. Him. Yep. Ishii is an awesome storyteller. Me. You watching the main or the one versus Saber? Him. Saw them both. Loved how he sold the arm the entire time. Makes sense. He's a real pro.
Mm-hmm.
Me. He really is my kind of wrestler. Dad. The little things matter. He nails the little things.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What more did he say about him? He's the man. And he has no neck. But he is the man.
He is strong, man.
Yes, he is strong, man.
And now we can talk about that Ishii Ibushi match that I mentioned. I alluded to there in my little bit of poetic waxing. This was the match of the night that night, unquestionably. I mean, Ishii and Ibushi hitting each other and just no-selling their hits to each other. Everything I've ever wanted to watch in a match. Just the escalation of the violence of this match was. I mean, there's some people who are probably not going to like this because it gets serious. Like, there are moments where I could see people who are like a little bit squeamish about their wrestling and like the kind of over the top, craziness a little bit more and don't like it to get too violent. There are some moments, like I said, a couple of those headbutts, Ibushi kicking Ishii's chest in and Ishii just being like, come on, kick me again. I just taking every single one of them straight to the pecs. Like, there's some things that people might get uncomfortable with, but this was amazing. I cannot say enough good things about this. And Ibushi finally getting him up for the powerbomb and winning with the powerbomb, he earned that fucking victory. Ibushi earned it that night, and that was awesome. And it's unfortunate for the guys who had to go on after them, Makabe and Goto, because they basically put on a dollar store version of the Ishii Ibushi match, and it was not great. It was unfortunate because I mean they're both pretty good performers, but their hossing it up could not compare to Ishii and Ibushi hossing it up. All right. Next up, we had back to B Block. Yes. This was Tuesday morning.
Yep.
All right. So start off Elgin versus Kojima in the first match. Great match.
I enjoyed it.
This was a really good one. I said before, Kojima's lost every match he's had, but he's been putting on some good performances. he's definitely showing that he still has what it takes to go in the ring. Evil defeated Tamatanga. I know that Rev Kane did not like this match. I enjoyed it. But that's because I really enjoy both of these guys. These guys both have a lot of.
You are the biggest Tamatanga fan in the world.
Probably. I am waiting anxiously on my Gorillas of Destiny T-shirt. I finally ordered it, and
nice. My LIJ shirt showed up.
Nice, very good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that my GOD shirt gets here before Evolve Progress, which is 2 weeks.
Which
2 weeks from tomorrow.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So
okay.
I will.
When did you order it?
I was like a beginning of the week or last weekend actually.
Then. All right.
So, yeah, actually, Sal is right. Tanya might actually be a bigger Tamatanga fan than me.
That's true. That's
true. So that's because she wants to do dirty things to his body, which I can't say I blame her for.
Her and me both. Wait, what? Sorry.
He's
the only Pacific Islander with a 6-pack.
Yeah. Him and his brother both are. I am fans of both of them, and I like Evil too. Evil does some really good stuff in the ring, and these guys really.
I love that his finisher is named Evil.
Yeah, no, it's
Black Sabbath's first album was named Black Sabbath.
Yep, exactly. I mean, and Black Sabbath's album, Black Sabbath, had a song on it called Black Sabbath too.
Oh, even better.
Yep. I actually, when I was on the radio in college, I actually did a segment of songs where it was the artist name, album name, and song name were all the same thing. I could only find like 3 instances of that, and I can't remember what the other 2 were off the top of my head. But
Led Zeppelin had 4 albums named Led Zeppelin.
Yes, but
had songs named Led Zeppelin.
That might actually be for the best now I think about it. Yeah, I enjoyed the Evil versus Tamatanga match. Your mileage may vary. Minoru Suzuki defeated Juice Robinson, and in the process also learned the best work punch in the business that Juice Robinson has. So everybody run the fuck away from Minoru Suzuki now. I have to sing the praises of this next match. I don't care what anybody says. Kenny Omega versus Toru Yano was
this match rocked.
Gold. Fucking gold. I don't care if people say that comedy wrestling is not valid.
Oh, I loved it.
It was fucking amazing.
Duct tape.
You know,
he gives the one-winged angel to the ref because he can't see. Come on, man, that shit's hilarious.
Trapezius worshiper Dave was not a fan of this match. Fuck that shit.
Dave's whole concept is that it doesn't belong in a tournament like the G1, which is serious business. My problem with Toru Yano is he's great in small doses.
Mm.
If you're a hardcore New Japan fan like we are, and you see him on every show, rating. If you're a casual fan, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. He makes it. Yeah, he injects that little bit of levity that you need because I mean,
yeah, he's comic relief. He's the HK-47 of your adventure. For those of you who played Knights of the Republic, he's comic relief.
Yeah, and it works. It really does. It may be a lot of the same stuff over and over again, but he makes it work. He really just knows what he's doing, and you know the duct tape. The hopping around the ring, Chase Owens coming in with the scissors, the whole bit.
Oh, yeah. It was great. It's a great little... I think Kenny's hurt, so this was a good match for him.
Yeah. Coming off of that...
I think Kenny's hurt, and I think he deservedly so. He's been in a hellacious stretch.
Yeah.
I think he's beat up, which explains why he hasn't had a great G1. On the flip side for Kenny, he hasn't exactly wrestled other than Elgin, which was awesome. He hasn't exactly wrestled great wrestlers.
Yeah, wrestled great wrestlers. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, the Tamatanga match, I really enjoyed that match. I think that
it was a story match, though. It wasn't a work rate match.
Yeah,
it was a story match, which I dug. I dug as a story match. I saw it live.
Mm-hmm.
I was up early that day. It was good. I liked it a lot. I like Tamatanga as the OG Bullet Club guy.
Yeah,
trying to keep this stable together. And by the way, you notice Bullet Club is the only stable, by the way, that has faces and heels.
Yes.
You notice that?
Yeah,
that's it.
That's why
LIJ is all faces at this point.
I'm enjoying watching the slow implosion of Bullet Club exactly for that reason, because of like watching the dynamics of this is amazing. So much fun. And then the main event, again, I haven't gotten to this yet, so after this, you're going to have to take over from here in terms of recapping things. But in the main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated Sonata.
Oh,
and you said you liked this one.
Rocked. I loved this match. You know why? Told the story. The entire beginning of the match and middle of the match, Sonata was just grinding him down and wearing him down and hurting him and wearing him down. And it was kind of boring. And he was doing great. And he made one little mistake and he lost. I'm okay with that because this isn't Sonata's year.
Yeah.
Next year, though, maybe could be Sonata's year. Maybe the year after that.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of a slow progress to where he needs to go. Because I think Sonata's next in line for that slow push. You know what I'm talking about? That New Japan slow push.
Yeah, Evil is getting it right now.
Evil's getting it right now. Sonata got it before his accident. I think Sonata's up next.
Yeah, and that's rightly so. I mean, because he, when he first joined Lij, like everybody was heaping praise upon him. And he definitely does deserve to have himself a bit of a showcase. But slowly get there. Give him some time.
I am next body on the next match of next thing of matches.
All right.
So I don't. I've seen all of them.
This was the night that people said was the off night for A Block, and every G1 each block has one night where just the matchups don't particularly mesh. So we had Tomohiro Ishii defeats Yoshihashi. Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Bad Luck Fale. Togi Makabe defeats Kota Ibushi. Tetsuya Naito defeats Yuji Nagata, and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeats Haruki Goto. I've heard bad things about that Tanahashi Goto match. I can't say I'm surprised.
I haven't seen it. I've also heard things, but I have not seen it, so I don't want to pass judgment.
Rev's recap of it tells me that I'm going to be saying a lot more times of "God damn it, Ace" during that match. But Ishii Yoshihashi supposedly was one of the better matches on the card. The best one being the Naito Nagata match. So those two I think will be good to watch. And I mean, Kota Ibushi has not had a bad match this whole G1, so I'm sure that the match with him Makabe was also good.
A lot of different styles.
Yeah. You were talking about
lots of different styles.
We were talking about this last night. The reason why Ibushi is so great is because he's so good at adapting to different styles.
Exactly.
And I mean, we only need to look to the Ibushi Sabre match to see exactly what that was. Guy didn't do a single moonsault the whole match. Didn't go to the top rope once and beat Zack Sabre at his own damn game.
Yeah, because he's great. I wish he stopped fucking around, by the way, and he joined this company full time, but we'll never get there, unfortunately.
Some people just their minds are not built for being serious all the time. Ibushi is an eccentric.
I wish he stopped fucking around with fireworks and DDT and all that other shit. But he wants to do his own thing, and more power to him.
Yeah. And then back over to B Block for this. I guess this was yesterday morning. Tamatanga over Juice Robinson. Sonata over Toriyano. Evil over Minoru Suzuki. Kazuchika Okada over Satoshi Kojima. And Michael Elgin over Kenny Omega. And that Omega Elgin match, I've heard, is probably one of the best matches of the entire tournament so far.
Yep. Omega got his work shoes on, I'm told.
Yeah. So
you excited for we got some good matches tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever the hell time it is. Well, whatever ungodly ass hour they're on tonight.
Let's run through the standings real quick.
Sure.
So right now in A Block we've got a 3-way tie for first at the top between Naito, Sabre, and Tanahashi. Then 5 guys with 4 points. Then at the bottom, Yoshihashi with 2 and Yuji Nagata with 0. Over on the B Block side, Okada is in the lead with 8. Omega and Evil behind him with 6. 4 guys with 4. Juice and Toru Yano each with 2, and Satoshi Kojima at the bottom with 0. So still pretty early. But all told, who do you think is at this? Given the standings as they are right now, who do you think is winning the blocks?
I think Naito. Wow, excuse me. Naito is winning A block.
Yep.
I was gonna say Suzuki, but I don't know. Okada's gonna start racking up some losses here. I don't think they're not gonna burn Naito and Okada. What if they go? I don't know. I mean, what if they go totally crazy, do like Sabre Jr. over losing to Omega?
See, I don't think Omega's winning it 2 years in a row.
Neither do I.
I think
Naito can win it. If Naito wins his block, who does he face?
Well, you had talked at the beginning when we first did our predictions about the whole thing of a main eventer and a mid carder facing off like they did last year with Omega and Goto.
I agreed, but I mean Okada has already. My mid carder was with Suzuki, and he's only got 4 points.
So maybe it's Evil.
A little Lij versus Lij.
Maybe because and I actually think
Evil.
I actually would not mind this because let's look at Evil's remaining slate of matches. He's got Toru Yano early on Sunday morning. Then he's got Omega in the main event on August 2nd.
That'll be good.
And then he's got Okada in the main event on August 5th. I think that Evil beats both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going bold prediction right now and saying Evil beats both of them. And I think that Evil comes out of the block as the winner at this point because, I mean, Okada, I don't see them going the route of the champ winning the G1 at this stage of the game. And I don't see them burning Naito Okada as the final either. So I think, and Omega seems bound for some sort of, feud for the rights to the Bullet Club, to the leadership of the Bullet Club, come January 4th. So I think, even if Evil only beats one of them, I still think that he can pull out the win because after those 2 main events, his last 2 matches, he faces Michael Elgin and Satoshi Kojima. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear that he's going to win the Kojima match. Because Kojima, I don't think is going to pick up a win against anybody except for maybe Tamatonga. So, yeah, I think Evil gets by the 2 main eventers and gets to the finals, and we see Naito versus Evil in the main event in the finals of the G1, and that would be a lot of fun to watch because we've already seen a little bit of Lij matchup on the first night when Evil faced Sonata, and that was a fun match. So I think Evil versus Naito would also be a lot of fun.
Oh, real quick, Adam Rice asked, "What are Saber's last matches?" Ready?
Yeah,
I got him right here. Tonight or tomorrow, Goto. Then he has Yoshihashi. Excuse me. Whoa. Then he has Makabe.
Yeah.
Then where is he? Zack Sabre Jr. Then he has Naito. Woo!
That's gonna be a fun one.
That's gonna be fun. Where is he on the little scroll sheet? Then he has Nagata.
Mm-hmm.
Then the finale, he faces Ishii. That'll be fun too. He's got a decent but not terrible draw. But I don't think he's winning A block. I think it's still Naito's block to lose.
Yeah. I mean, we've already seen Sabre and Ishii tear the house down once this year, so the rematch should be
no reason why they wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
I love pro wrestling. I love this time of year.
Yeah. So
let's talk about tomorrow. What do we have tomorrow? You ready?
Yeah. Tomorrow, A block.
Tomorrow, A block, 5 a.m. Eastern. So exactly 8 hours from now. hours from now.
Yep.
Or 8 hours from now. I don't know. You're on Asian time. You tell me.
It's 7 hours.
Tetsuya Naito versus Tomohiro Ishii. Tanahashi versus Yoshihashi. Hiroki Goto and his awesome entrance music versus Zack Sabre Jr. Kota Ibushi versus Bad Luck Fale. Kick his ass, Ibushi. And Togi Makabe versus Yuji Nagata. Old man match.
Yeah. And then the next night, 3:30 a.m. Sunday, B block action. We have Kenny Omega versus Satoshi Kojima, Kazuchika Okada versus Juice Robinson.
That's
I am
gonna be so
very
great.
excited for that match.
Cannot wait.
Michael Elgin versus Sonata, another match I'm very excited for.
I think if Sonata wins, then he's going to be in contention to make some noise.
Mm-hmm. Minoru Suzuki versus Tamatonga, and Evil versus Toru Yano, which I want to see. I want to see that just to see how Toru Yano reacts to Evil, because that's going to be. I mean, I don't think he's going to be scared of Evil, but I don't think he's going to really know what to do. But the one I'm really looking forward to is it the final night? It is the final night. The final night is Minoru Suzuki versus Toru Yano.
That match is going to end in one of two ways. You ready? We talked about this. That match is going to end in one of two ways.
Yep.
Either 10 minutes of Minoru Suzuki stretching out Toru Yano as Toru Yano screams for mercy, or 4 seconds after a low blow.
Yep.
With Yano winning. And either way, it will be glorious.
Yep.
Either way, it will be amazing, and I am here for it. Either Minoru Suzuki stretching out Toru Yano and Toru Yano shrieking like a banshee, or Toru Yano winning in 5 seconds after a low blow.
Definitely.
Sublime Master Thief.
All right. Real quick, we're going to run through some indie business, and then we're going to get on out of here. Big news that was announced today was Chikara's King of Trios 2017 tournament has officially been announced. They are taking it overseas to Wolverhampton, England for the first time. This is the 10th year of the King of Trios tournament. And they've got quite a lineup prepared for us, encompassing both Chikara regulars and teams from all over the indie spectrum. So highlights here. Last year's champions, let me just say that the entire tournament is taking on a Game of Thrones type aesthetic. So instead of being referred to as teams, everybody's being referred to as houses for this tournament. So we've got House Sendai Girls, the returning champions. Meiko Satomura, who we've talked about before on this show, and her amazing ability to kick your face in, along with Dash Chisako and Cassandra Miyagi. They are back again to defend their win from last year. We also have 3 generations of British wrestling talent. The eldest generation from World of Sport, Danny Boy Collins, James Mason, and Mal Sanders. If anybody has watched World of Sport or is familiar with World of Sport at all, you'll know them as being veterans of the promotion from its heyday. They are making an appearance here. We've got the previous generation represented in the team of House Revival. No, it is not Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. It is
it's too bad.
Instead, Jody Fleisch, Johnny Moss, and Johnny Storm coming in from UK days of old. And the current generation of British wrestling, who else could we possibly have to represent it other than House Strong Style?
Yeah.
That's right. Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, and Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Coming into the King of Trios tournament. But they're not the only ones representing. They're not the only ones representing the current generation of British wrestlers. We've also got House Calamari, which is 2/3 of CCK, Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos, joined by a masked unknown named Elijah. I really think that's actually Travis Banks behind the mask, but I don't know.
Find out. When does it start?
Tournament takes place on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Wolverhampton, England.
Which is the same time as the Bola.
Yep. Let's see. Among the Chikara regulars who are going to be here. Oh, they've also actually got some other teams representing other British promotions. Actually, a fairly significant representation of the indie British scene Representing Attack Pro Wrestling from House Attack, Chief Deputy Dunn, Jim Obstruction, and Lee Obstruction. We all know Chief Deputy Dunn as the guy who just torments the hell out of who's that one guy in Attack who has the party boy gimmick? I don't even fucking remember.
Adam Rose?
No, it's not Adam Rose. I want to say it's Jack Sexsmith, but I can't say for certain.
I'll tell you, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Representing Fight Club Pro, we have Kyle Fletcher, Millie McKenzie, and Omari. Body Slam Pro Wrestling is represented by Emeritus, Michael Finn, and Vastil. And then we also have among the Chikara regulars, we have House Furies, which features Fire Ant, Solo Darling, and Travis Huckabee. We have House Rot with Frightmare, Hallow Wicked, and Kobold. And then the most interesting of these, House Throwbacks. The Throwbacks, Dasher Hatfield and Mark Angelicetti, are being joined by a familiar face to some people. The man known as Simon Grimm, who many will know better as Simon Gotch, the former vaudevillain.
I know that name.
Yes. So those are just a few of the 16 teams that are taking place in the King of Trios tournament, which you can see on Chikaratopia on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Coming from Wolverhampton, England. And just one other little bit of indie wrestling notes. Over this past weekend, Wrestle Circus had themselves a big, I don't remember what the official name of this weekend's Wrestle Circus show was, and of course I freaking closed Sermon on the Mat, so I can't get to it right away.
Okay. You know what? Let me talk about my indie wrestling real quick.
Yeah, actually, you do that.
I am going to an indie match tomorrow, to an indie show tomorrow. Not AAW.
Yes.
I'm going to see Fusion Pro Wrestling in Chicago because a coworker of mine is wrestling in his final ever match. This guy has wrestled on and off for about 5 or 6 years, he told me, and he's tired of taking the bumps. So he's retiring after this match tomorrow, and a bunch of us from the office are going out there to cheer him on. And it is $10 to get in, and I am excited, and it should be a lot of fun. Fusion Pro Wrestling.
Sounds awesome.
He is wrestling in his final match, and should be cool. That's it. Yeah. It's just, I don't want to say it's a nothing indie, but it's not super vital. It's not going to be streamed or anything, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm hoping my buddy does well.
Yeah. I couldn't get Sermon on the Mat up for whatever reason, my internet's being stupid. But the big news from Wrestle Circus over the weekend was that in the main event of their show, Tessa Blanchard won in a title versus title match against Rachel Ellering to become both the sideshow champion and the Lady of the Ring champion. So Tessa Blanchard currently a double champion in Wrestle Circus, and it's interesting to see that Rachel Ellering dropped the title with the Mae Young Classic so soon on the horizon. I wonder if this bodes for a possible contract for Ms. Ellering. We'll see.
Possible. We shall see.
And then the other big bit of women's wrestling news, which I know you're not going to get to see, but AAW has announced that they're holding a women's championship tournament.
It's so far. I know. So far away.
But we'll definitely be reporting on it.
We will.
As soon as they have a field, we will definitely give the full recap of everything.
Yes, we will.
Yep.
Yes, we will.
That'll be that. Just a quick run through of our fellow podcasting brethren here on CageSideSeats.com, your one-stop shop for wrestling news and banter.
Then I'm gonna go have some Oreos. I want some Oreos.
So we've got Wednesday night shooting with Tanya Rogers and Andrew M. Swift. You can always check them out. We know that they do awesome, fun stuff. Rooter Radio on Thursdays with Mark Normandin and Nick Bond. And then Thursday nights, we have Not Your Demographic with Stunning Stella Cheeks and the enigmatic Aaron Klein. Fridays, we got Shooting Debris in the morning with Taker's Minion, Prince Moxley Lopez, and Mr. Dr. Sanju. And then in the afternoons, Fizzy's Wacky World Wrestling with 14 Fitzpatrick and Don Sal Cusmano. And then you've got
14 Fitzpatrick.
Yes. And then you've got us in the evening. Triple shot on Fridays of wrestling podcast content. And then after every major WWE event, Cage Side Speaks, hosted by 14 Fitzpatrick and featuring members of the CageSideSeats.com community talking about all the major WWE events. And after every NXT takeover, we have Cage Side Live with Sean Reuter and Our Lady Justice. So So be sure to check all of the podcasting content out here. Support Cage Side Seats podcasts and support your local indie federations.
That's it.
Keep Graps alive.
That's it.
Next week,
Do
we're
it.
going to have...
Support your local indie.
Duke is not here, but we will echo his sentiments always. Support your local indies. Next week, we're going to talk more G1 standings, more news on the road to SummerSlam, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about how best the WWE UK Championship should be handled, because we have not seen anything from the UK Championship since TakeOver Chicago, and Pete Dunne's been defending it on indie shows, but it hasn't even really been mentioned on WWE programming. So we're gonna have a little bit of a chat about that and see what ideas we can foster about how to proceed with that title going forward as we approach its 1-year anniversary in January. And
sooner rather than later.
Yes, indeed. It's right around the corner. Time flies, whether you're having fun or not.
You know it.
All right.
Anything else, my friend?
That is it for us. Take us out, sir.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can catch us every Friday. And don't forget to check out your local indie. Don't work yourself into a shoot. And hang out with us on CageSideSeats.com, your one-stop shop for wrestling news and banter. That's Chris. I'm George. This is Two Guys, One Sport. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and don't work yourself into a shoot. Good night, everybody.
Folks.